Hey guys, Christian here. Today we got the Toyota Tacoma TRD Off-Road Edition, and to get into the specs right away. MSRP is $50,455. This has an iForce 2.4 liter 4-cylinder turbo engine. It's got an 8-speed automatic. There is also a manual option though, and it has 4-wheel drive. This has 278 horsepower, 317 torque, which gets you 0 to 60 in 7.2 seconds. And the MPG on this is 19 city, 23 highway, 21 combined, and the weight on this is about 4,600 pounds. So starting with the outside, we have this in black, just simply black, just really just like solid black. There's not much flake to it, or there isn't any flake. I think it's completely gloss. And then on the side, we do have the Predator steps, as they call these. These are actually for about $700. We have a blacked out Tacoma logo on the side. We actually see the whole car, all the emblems and everything just fully blacked out, if you're wondering. And then for the wheels, we have 17-inch off-road TRD wheels. There is like the optional 18s on like some of the other models, but they're mostly the same design. But I think it looks really cool, like the red like lettering in the center of the wheel. On the front side, we have the headlights, LED headlights, and there is also LED fog lamps down below, so about here. And then the whole front, just really good bumper. Toyota in the center, again, blacked out entirely. On the bottom as well, we also have a skid plate, so it's really good, of course, going off-road, which this is the off-road model. And there is also like another optional, I think it seems like a stronger like TRD off-road skid plate. I think this one just has more of like a standard one, which is really nice that it comes standard on this. So being a truck, of course, this has a lot that we have to talk about on the backside, but starting with the tail light, so just kind of fit it as you would expect. You have the Tacoma kind of like, it's kind of like pushed in, but at the same time, they like put lettering in it, and it's all blacked out again, as I mentioned in the front as well too. Down below, of course, you could have like, you could have the whole hook and everything, so you could obviously tow anything you might need as well. I'll throw the numbers if you want to tow anything with this. But if you want to open this up, simply just bring this down, and it's kind of nice that it's like somewhat hydraulic, so it doesn't like drop it instantly. So let me just show that real quick. It won't drop it too hard, which is a really nice thing. This one has like the plastic liner, so it kind of just protects the whole thing, of course. Some cars don't have it, so it's just really nice that this has it already. There's hooks everywhere. There's a lot of things I always need to point out. So inside the trunk, of course, as I want to just open this again. So you have a 12-volt port, you have USB-C ports, 2 of them, and then you have the fuse here too, which is kind of interesting. And then you also have a little bit of storage in case you want to like lock some things in there real quickly. Though it probably isn't secure, obviously, if you're going to leave really expensive things in there. On the left side, we have a 120 volt. So in case you need that, maybe you need some like power tools or anything like that, it has the grounding and everything, so just simply just plug that in the same way you would at home. And they have a little bit of storage down here, so simply just turn both of these, opens this up, and as you can see, you have a little bit of storage in case maybe some things you don't want to get wet, maybe some straps or anything you don't want to get like sun damage as well too. And then just to mention, this is of course just a 5-foot bed. There is a 6-foot option in case you might need that, so just kind of just gives you some perception of how I look when I'm in here. And a quick mention, in case you want the 6-foot bed over the 5-foot, it's only an extra 500 more, which is actually really nice. So before we get inside the car, I actually want to just show off the key fob real quick. So it just simply has the Toyota logo on one side, the buttons. So it's just a simple key. So I want to just quickly just mention that. But to get inside, you have like the remote access, so just simply just walk up. And as you can see, we have like a decent amount of storage. We have the nice TRD here in white. So there is also the option where you can have this in gray, or also like a really like bright blue, which I really like the blue, but the white looks really good with the contrast. And then going on to the seat controls, kind of have like 3 kind of adjustments that we have, like an 8-way adjustable seat. So you have like the bottom, you have the backrest, the lumbar, and as you can see, the seats are kind of like a material, not entirely cloth, but it's just a really just durable material. But at this point, let me get inside the car and we'll just see what we have inside. So inside, we have the nice steering wheel in front of us. So we have the steering wheel, very standard, of course, kind of more of the music controls on the left side. Right side has more of like the cruise control options. And then behind this, we have like a really big, like 12.3-inch display. Kind of just has everything we might need, of course, just to let you know what you need to know. And as you can see, it's about 100 outside, so I'm dying a bit. So is my cameraman. So we have a 14-inch display in the center between you and passenger. This is upgraded over the 8-inch one. And this one's really humongous, really square, so you kind of get like a lot of real estate on this. This has Android Auto, as you can see right now. Kind of have my maps on the left side, music on the right side. Really good to have, but if, of course, you don't want to use that, you can use just the standard one, or also the Apple CarPlay, which are both wireless for Android Auto as well too. Below that, we have some AC controls, a lot of like big, kind of just like adjust everything, like your fan speeds, the temperature, and of course the volume dead center. And then this one also has like the upgraded package where it has like the heated seats. Unfortunately, not the cooled seats, which would be amazing right now in LA weather, but again, still cool to have the heated seats. Wireless charging over there, so simply just place your phone there. If I can grab my phone real quick, but simply just throw it on there and just starts charging. It lets you know up here that it's charging actually. You have 2 USB-C ports, which kind of mention the 45-watt charging, though it says 52.5 between them. And then you also have another one, which is kind of interesting. You have it all the way up here. You have another USB-C port, which is really nice in case you got to charge a lot of things while you're in here. The prindle is really nice, really beefy, really chunky. Nice like leather TRD symbol on it. And it's just really nice when you like grab onto that and just like move that around. You have some of your towing controls. You have like the 4-wheel drive, the 2-wheel drive, and also the long. You have a really nice handle for your passenger. I guess you could hold onto this one as well too. You might hear the birds chirping, which I apologize for that. You have 2 cup holders, which if you're wondering, they're just really standard. Actually, I have my big 40-ounce Hydro Flask, as I always mention. So trying to push that in. I can actually force it in there, but I'm not gonna force it. It's not really meant for something of this size, but I will say it's a little bit wider than most like cup holders. So this is kind of really nice to know. And then I will mention kind of more on the passenger side. You have like the nice white trim, as I mentioned, that we had on the door. And you just see like the really nice Tacoma symbol. And again, that can be in either gray or blue. Or I guess you could just wrap it on yourself too and just wrap it to any color, but it's really cool, the white contrast over just having like everything all black. So really nice little contrast. And getting into more back here, kind of have the armrest. So just quickly open this up. You just have some like decent depth in here in case you want to just store anything you might need. It seems here they had like some playing cards, so that's pretty cool what they had in there. But closing this up, you also can open up the mirror in the back. So it's kind of interesting. It's not a manual one, kind of like how some trucks might have it. You simply just press up here and it'll actually like open it, or it'll actually just close it as well too. And you can hear that too. And you also have a place, of course, for your glasses holder, which I usually don't mention. I feel that's kind of just given on most cars, but some cars actually do not have that. And then one really cool kind of feature that we're seeing more on like a lot of trucks, or just like kind of like a cool thing to add. So on the front you have like the JBL speaker. So in case you obviously when it's plugged in, it uses it with the car. But simply you just press on this button, pops it out, and you can take it with you. I don't know, it could be a work site, maybe you gone fishing, you forgot to bring your speaker. Really nice that this is here in case you want to just take it with you. Or maybe you went hiking, wherever it might be, but it's really cool that when it's actually plugged in, it actually uses it. And you kind of can just forget about it and just leave it there in case you never want to use it, or take it with you and use it wherever you go. So to get inside the back seats, you have the handle here in case you got to like step up. Also have the Predator steps for this one, which is an option. Once you're inside, let's just see how my knee room is. Knee room is actually good. Again, this isn't the hugest truck, but it's kind of good that's just more compact. Kind of get around town and kind of like park it anywhere, which I know with trucks, they can be a little bit tougher. But you can see I'm pretty good here. Here in the center, 2 cups in case you might need that. You also have a 120 volt and it has a full, also like the ground as well too, so you can just plug in maybe a laptop or anything you might need back here. 2 USB-C ports, but I will mention one really quick thing. If you look everywhere, there actually isn't any AC vents back here, so I'm wondering if I missed something or it's just blowing back here like magically, or you really have to expect on the front vents. I think that's a really interesting thing that they kind of missed, or maybe it's the vent down here, but I'm pretty sure there's no vents back here, so that's a little weird. You do have a light up here. You have like the back window, as I mentioned. And then for storage, you have a little bit of storage back here behind the seat. And then in case you want to bring these up, you can actually bring them up with the straps over here. Might look a little tough for me to do, but as you can see, we have like a little bit of storage here. It's not completely flat. I kind of wish it was. I feel like the whole flat thing that some trucks have that we saw, like especially in the last video, F-150, kind of completely went flat, so you could like put your groceries really easily. Another thing, you can pull the seat over here. And you can actually see we have like some of our things in case we got to like replace the tire or anything like that. So you could like store some tools back there. And I actually want to just show real quickly if I open this one up. So raising this one, getting out of the car. And as soon as I raise this one up, as you can see, it's not completely flat. I will say when the trucks have it completely flat, like no transmission well, which this is probably what that is. I feel it's like a lot just like easier for groceries, or again, maybe you have your pet down here or you want to take a nap, anything. The flatness, I think it would be preferred, but I guess this is their way of just kind of having things stored actually under the seats or kind of behind the seats, as we saw as well too. So getting onto the drive, so I will say this car just drives like a typical truck. I think it has like a double wishbone suspension, so it just feels like you definitely feel everything, feel the bumps, a little bit like motion, but it's nothing bad. Agileness of this truck, it's a truck still, so it kind of just goes where you want to go, not as sporty as obviously a sports car, but I haven't had any issues when I've been driving. It kind of like turns where you'd want it to go, and being like a slightly smaller truck is not like a humongous truck as some are. It kind of easily kind of has like a good like turning radius, so it's pretty easy to maneuver. As well as like parking on like parking lots and everything, I will say it's definitely easier. It's not crazy wide, not crazy long, so again, it still has a truck bed, the 5-foot truck bed on this one. It does extend a little bit beyond the parking spots, but nothing excessive or anything that would become an issue. And it doesn't sit too high, even though this sits a little bit higher than some trucks. It doesn't feel like it would really like bump on top of like some of the parking lots when you go inside as well too. As you're accelerating the car, I will say again, with the i-Force engine and everything, and it has a turbo too, so it kind of has like a good amount of power, I think, when you accelerate a bit. So you saw that it kind of picked up pretty quickly. I will say there's a little bit of delay, but as you would expect. Noise insulation on this, I think it's pretty standard. I think you still hear normal road noises as you would expect. It's not like super insulated. I think that's what I would mention if it did have it, but it's just typical, nothing I would complain about. Getting onto the safety systems of this car, again, there's so many things. This has the Toyota SafeSense 3.0, which has a lot of options. Again, as usual, I'm going to flash them up there. Let me know if you guys like that. I just simply flash them up so you're kind of aware of some of the safety things, and there's probably even more safety things that I think their website doesn't always mention. I want to show off one of the safety features. So there's one called rear cross traffic control. Kind of just shows you when there's about to be a vehicle or some sort of an object going to pass by behind you, especially when you're backing up, as we have right now, like the backup camera. As you can see, there's like the arrows right there. The car just ran a stop sign, but overall, it kind of just lets you know that there's something passing behind you. And I guess there goes the second car rolling through a stop sign. I guess it's a typical California stop. All right, guys, that completes a review for the whole Toyota Tacoma TRD Off-Road Edition in the nice black that we have it in, and the white trim on the inside. Predator steps as well too. But again, as always, thank you. And again, till next time, and I really mean that thank you. I think we're at like 2,700 subscribers. Trying to hit the cool goal to be in 10K, but if we can even somehow hit close to 5K, that'd be amazing. I guess if you want to push it last 3K, but I'm gonna try to shoot for 5K. So if you haven't subscribed yet, you guys like the content, let me know any future cars you want to see. But again, as usual, till next time.